Hey folks, today I'm going to talk to you about what I would consider the 5 most common career mistakes and how to avoid them. Stay tuned. Hey folks, this is Kim. Welcome to livemorenow.net. As I said, I want to talk today about what I would consider the 5 most common career mistakes that people make and how we're going to avoid them. Starting with number 1, letting other people make career decisions for you. No matter how well-intended your boss, your spouse, your friends may be, ultimately the decision needs to lie in your heart or in your gut. Getting advice is always a good idea, but you gotta kind of buffer it again with what you feel within yourself. I would recommend seeking out a person in the business world who you look up to, who you might aspire to be, and solicit their advice. Also, please consider that sometimes not making a decision is a decision, and sitting back, exercising some patience with an open mind will sometimes allow the answer to reveal itself to you. I'm always plugging my favorite app, but I would strongly recommend headspace.com, where they have some really simple guided meditation exercises that could help you with that. Number 2, don't burn a bridge. Basically, just don't do it. No matter how angry you are or how cool the next opportunity may seem, you got to stop yourself and think 6 months, 1 year, 5 years down the road, and realize that you never know who you're going to bump into in the future, especially if you're in a really specialized industry where it's small and everybody seems to know each other. Now, if you have already burnt a bridge, then fix it. I would recommend putting together a small, short, brief, handwritten note to that person and let them know that you regret the way that you handled that situation and you wouldn't do it again, and that you hope they'll accept your sincere apology. I found most people are willing to do so, again, as long as that apology is sincere. If you're not feeling sincere about it, then maybe you need to do some soul searching. Number 3, taking your job for granted. If you are phoning it in and you think that you're indispensable to the company, I suggest you reevaluate. Very, very rarely, I've never really seen in my circumstances where one person is actually indispensable, unless maybe you're the only person who works for your company. Not only is that going to affect you personally, you're certainly not going to build any support from your teammates. So be wary of overstaying your welcome. If this is where you find yourself regularly, I would strongly recommend looking into finding another position, whether it's within the company or another company entirely. Number 4, constantly fighting the way things are. If you're coming across as inflexible or constantly complaining about how screwed up things are or bitching around the water cooler, that really doesn't help anyone. Not only could that impact your personal life, your family might feel that stress. It doesn't add any value professionally speaking. If you do have sincere, legitimate concerns or grievances, make sure that you're speaking to the people who can actually impact change. Otherwise, it's just hot air. Now, if you do approach the leadership of the company to express those concerns, make sure that you have a little bit of humility and realize that it's highly likely that you don't have the whole story. A lot of times there's some decisions that are being made behind closed doors that impact the big picture that might explain some of the inefficiencies that you find yourself constantly complaining about. So again, before you march into your boss's office, exercise a little bit of humility, realizing that there might be a lot of things that you're not aware of. And number 5, most importantly, I would say one of the most common mistakes that people make is putting their career before their personal life. So you need to set personal goals. I know that this is a major cliche, but do you want to live to work or work to live? And most of us want to work to live. So you need to write down those goals, put them up somewhere, and make sure that they're constantly front of mind, whether that's more family time, travel, hobbies, education, saving for retirement, whatever it may be. Those are going to help guide your decisions along the way. Nobody's ever been on their deathbed expressing gratitude for how much time they spent at work. So keep those personal goals in mind, and that, like I said, that'll help guide your career decisions along the way. So there you go. Those are what I would consider the 5 most common career mistakes, and hopefully you'll be able to avoid those. If you have any comments, suggestions, or stories about some mistakes you've made, how you've gotten through them, please post that in the comment section below. Thank you so much for visiting livemorenow.net.